Hi, friends. How's everybody doing? Welcome to Deborah's Money Journey. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me. If you are new, I want to personally thank you for stopping by and watching Deborah's Money Journey. This channel, my channel, is all about my journey with my finances. That includes paying off debt, saving money, working on goals, investing, saving for retirement. You name it, anything to do with money, I want to talk about it and also share my tips and what works for me. And I hope that you enjoy my content and consider subscribing. How's everybody doing? I know it was a long weekend for a lot of us. And guys, if you don't know, I am in the process of moving. So I'll be honest, I'm going to be limited for about a week, maybe a week and a half, just to get settled. And then once that happens, I'll be back. But I am so excited. I'm really happy that I'm going to be moving very soon into a new home. And yes, I will share some of the details about that. I know there's a lot of, personal details when it comes to buying a property. So I'll have to figure out what I want to share, but that is a separate budget. I will say that I had a separate savings account just for my home savings for when it was time to purchase a new home and for all of the fees and charges, all of the expenses that go along with purchasing a home. Because, wow, guys, it is a lot. And you literally are signing your life away. The documents just keep coming. I was kind of shocked at how many documents I had to sign, but I'm so glad it's over and I'm, ready to move forward. So I will be sharing some of that. And that new budget will be effective January. That's when I'll start paying the mortgage and other expenses. So I know my budget's going to change. It's going to change by a lot. And I will be sharing all of that either later this month or at the beginning of next month. Okay, guys. So are you done with your Christmas shopping? Because I know it is that time of year when a lot of people are out shopping every day or they're doing it online. I haven't started and I am a little jealous of those who have because I just don't have the mindset to think about it right now. And I think it's because I know what's in front of me, the move, and I just really want to do one thing at a time and then I'll be ready to move forward. All right, guys, so let's get into my December budget. Let me share with you what I am going to be spending and what I am estimating to be my income and expenses. And then I'll just kind of share what my process is when I am thinking about what I have to pay for the month. All right. So for the month of December, guys, I am going to be adding or pulling in from payroll, sinking funds, and challenges. Let me say that again, from payroll, sinking funds, and savings challenges, $7,500. I think that's enough. I did scale back on this amount, and that's because I don't think I need to spend as much because I've already saved money for Christmas. So that money is separate from my regular monthly payroll and other expenses that I'm going to be sharing. Extra money, extra funds, I classify that as money that I receive. I do have a adult son who lives with me. He's young, but he's still an adult. He works, so he does pay rent. So that falls under extra funds. So I have $400 here. And then for Christmas, I saved $1,000. So I'll be using the full $1,000 budget because I just realized when I moved a year ago, I got rid of my Christmas trees. I had two of them and they were lit trees. I think the one was about, yeah, they were both about 6 feet. And yeah, I got rid of a lot of stuff, and sometimes I regret that I did that. But at the time, I just needed to hurry up and get out of the place, and it was sold, and the person literally wanted to start moving in the next day. So it was a little stressful, and at that point, I just said, I don't need them. I'll just get a new tree. But now I wish I would have kept them because they were decent trees and they actually were nice. So, but yeah, so I'm gonna have to buy Christmas trees, some lights. That'll include any entertaining. I'm not doing a lot, just something small. That'll also include gifts for my children and for my great niece and nephew and my nieces and nephews. So just some family members. I'll make sure they get gifts. And then rollover, I'm going to change this from 780 because my rollover was actually 1100. That's what I rolled over into this budget. Oh, well, will you look at there? I'm exactly at $10,000. That is what I'm going to work with for the month of December. And yeah, I think that's a fair amount. And so I'm not going to try to spend a lot of money because when it comes to buying a property and moving, and you have to get lots of things, and I realize, I don't have this, I don't have that. Even a nice set of dishes with the coffee cups and the mugs and all of those things, I'm going to have to get all of that again because a lot of those things were given away when I moved. So I have a very small kitchen. I don't have a lot of stuff in it. So I don't want to get a lot, but I do like to have a nice set of something. So I want to have some matching cups or mugs and plates. And I do like to bake. So I want to have nice utensils and pans and whatnot. But yeah, so some of that money that I have been saving to go towards the move, those type of expenses and items will be paid from that budget. Okay. So for fixed expenses, I do pay tithes, offerings, and donations. I just don't share what that amount is. And I do want to make an annual donation to a charity because it is December and I believe is it December? Is it Giving Tuesday? I think there's a certain day of the week they want you to make donations to different organizations. And because this is a month of giving, it's also nice to give to some charities. And I would say, even if you don't have a local charity that you normally donate to, maybe think about, where there's a great need in your area and donate to some of the smaller organizations. I do know of a lot of small organizations that are doing great work supporting the community. So I will be making a donation this month. All right, so for my rent. Now, my rent is not $735, but because I'm only going to be in the place that I'm in currently until December 7th, that is how much I owe. My normal rent is 2,885, but I only have to pay 735.67. I wish it was this amount every month. This would be wonderful. Anyway, that's what I have already paid, so I know how much that was. My electric bill is going to be $96.65, and that one I'll pay that in a few days. Water and power, I don't know because that bill comes later in the month. I am just estimating that it'll probably be about $80, but we will see. And then my fridge rental, this will be my final fridge rental. I am paying $45. I did buy a new refrigerator for my new home. It didn't have a fridge in there, so it's okay because most places they take everything with them when they leave. But I did find a side by side, and it was on sale for a really good price, actually $700 off of their regular price. And and again, side by side, and I thought, it's nice. It has a water dispenser in the front. So I think it's really nice and it's going to be a nice addition in my kitchen. I normally don't have fridges with water dispensers. That's why I have the water service. So I think once that gets established, I can cancel the water service. Okay. Car insurance, about $158. Spectrum Internet, $71.25. My life insurance is $69. My cell phone's about $148. So for the month of December, I am expecting to spend about $1,403.57 for my fixed expenses, which I'll say, which is pretty good. Now, I feel like I'm going to get a bill from my current residence, okay? Because I have a pet. My pet ended up putting a hole in the patio screen, and yeah, he just kept scratching at it till he finally put a hole in it. Now, they did replace it, and I did tell them that I'll pay for it, but it wasn't included in this $735 rent. And so I feel like I'm going to get a final bill, which is why I'm going to scale back a little bit on my income for the month, and I'm just going to reserve a certain dollar amount, maybe about $1,500. I'm going to set that aside just in case I get another bill when I move out. But you never know with that. All right, subscriptions. I have SiriusXM, that's $7.99. Google memberships, $24.97. Microsoft is $9.99. That's my Word, my Excel. I just pay a monthly fee for that. And then I have Apple Storage that is $9.99 as well. So my variable expenses for subscriptions is $9, excuse me, $52.94. Actually, that should say total subscription, not total variable. I'll change that later. All right. Okay, so moving on to variable. Groceries, I'll budget $600. I think I'm going to spend a little more because I'm moving and you know how that goes. You clean out the old fridge and then you start fresh with the new fridge. And so you want to probably stock it up with new items. And if there's things that are probably on the older side and they're more used up, I probably will just throw them away and start over. But I think it's going to be more, but right now I'm just going to leave it at $600. Dog food, $60. Gasoline, I don't know. I may have to go up a little bit on this, but again, I don't know. I'm really the same distance from my job, no matter what freeway I take, because there's multiple freeways I can take. I think I'll still end up getting to work and getting home around the same time. So I live on more eastern. No, actually, the new home is more eastern to the current home I'm in. And so it's parallel the cities basically. And so again, I don't think I'm going to be saving any time when it comes to my commute. But I might just be watching how much I'm spending for gasoline because our gas prices are rising out here. I was shocked. I saw one of the places I went to, the gas was right at $5 a gallon. So that did kind of shock me. All right. Personal, 125 is just my pocket change. Car wash, $40. I've already gotten my car wash and I already paid $40. I did give him a tip of $5, but I took that out of my personal money, so I'm just not going to include that in here. Laundry, I'm going to budget $30, and I won't have to worry about laundry. I do have the space for a washer and a dryer. I've already ordered those items, and hopefully it'll all be delivered before most of my furniture is delivered and I completely move into the new home. But that is also very important to me to have a washer and a dryer. So I'm really excited about having a brand new washer and dryer. Okay. And again, those items were not in the home, so I had to purchase them. 'Cause trust me, if there was one there, I would have kept it and used it for a little while. Okay. Household supplies, I'm just going to keep it at 50 because Again, I have a separate budget for household, and I already know it's going to be way more than $50, but I'm going to keep that with the home budget and not this one. I think for this one, it'll just be if I happen to buy some paper products for the house, and I actually do need some more paper towels, toilet paper, those kinds of things. So I might just wait though until I move because I don't want to have too much stuff that I have to lug over there. So I'll just probably wait on those items. And then eating out, I will do a lot of eating out this month. I'm not gonna lie because I am in between homes right now and I'm starting to just take everything out of the kitchen. I'm just not gonna have any dishes or utensils or whatnot to cook with. So I'm going to be eating out more this month. Plus, it's the holidays. So I expect to eat more, spend more money on food and going out and doing all of those fun things. All right, medical, I do have to schedule a doctor's appointment, and the copay is usually between I think 30 and 40, but I'm just going to leave it at 55 because you never know. I may have to go back for a follow-up. So I'll just leave it at that. All right, I have two birthdays this month, and I'm going to set aside $200 for that. I am going to set aside $200 for the cruise payment that I am going to be making. It's more like a payment on the cruise that I am going to be having next year because we're having a family reunion in August of 2026, which is going to be very exciting. My water service is $52 a month. And again, I might just cancel this once the refrigerator is set up. I'll see how that goes because I honestly don't think I'll need the water service if I have filtered water through my fridge. Christmas, again, I already said I'm going to set aside 1,000. That's what I saved. I am setting aside the entire $1,000 because I have a lot to do with this money. It's going to get spent. I don't know about you, but I usually spend all my Christmas money every single year. I think this is the one pot of money that I don't mind being generous. And so if I see that I have some extra, I tend to use it for something or maybe buy a few more gifts here and there. But yeah, I can't wait to start enjoying my holiday. But again, I have to get my move settled and under my belt. And then once I do that, then I can start some planning around other things. And then I'm going to set $200 aside for unbudgeted because again, you never know, right? So I'm going to expect to spend about $3,387 for my variable expenses. And I actually think that's pretty good. And I will do my best to stay within this budget because, again, I need to set aside some money just in case I have to pay the final bill for things that were not, wasn't expecting to pay. All right. My debt. Okay, so for Discover, I'm going to be setting aside $250 for that credit card. For Sam's Club, $500, and then my Wells Fargo credit card, $250. Now, a lot of times I make the payment, guys, and then I'll charge it back up and then I'll make the payment. So I'm almost at the same balance on these cards, but the Wells Fargo card, that's the only one I'm putting extra funds on, and that one is definitely going to get paid off because I want this one paid off. I really do. I don't mind having two credit cards, but I really don't want three. So I'm gonna keep working on Wells Fargo. And actually, if I have any extra money this from this month's payroll, once I know how much more I owe, I'm probably going to use some of that money and put it towards Wells Fargo. And then I didn't put anything in there about buying anything for the Black Friday sales for the different budgeting channels. I wanted to do some shopping But I'm just so overwhelmed with everything that's going on. So I wasn't able to do it, and I really feel bad about it because I know everybody was having some amazing sales. And so I'm hoping that I can still catch, I don't know, a couple of them before the new year starts. So we'll see. Okay, investments. I have Vanguard. I'm going to this is the final month for the quarter, the fourth quarter, and I really want to bulk up all of my investment accounts and my savings accounts. So I'm going to be adding extra. So Vanguard, I'm hoping to set aside 200, SoFi 200, Fidelity 200, M1 Finance 200, SoFi, the IRA $100. And my Roth IRA, I'm going to set aside $300. And then hopefully the money that I save in my binder, which when I do my final cash stuffing for my retirement savings, I really hope I'll have, between $1,500 and $2,000 because I'm going to put a chunk of that towards my Roth IRA because again, I have never fully funded my Roth IRA. And this year, I think I actually saved more than I have saved in any year in this because I've never fully funded it. So I think right now I'm sitting at about 5,000, but because I am at that in that age bracket, I can do the catch-up contribution. I believe I can get up to 8,000 in savings. So that would be about 3,000 more dollars. Now, I don't think I'm going to reach it this year because I have been in a debt payoff mode for the last few years, just working on debt payoff. And so because of that, I wanted to prioritize that over my retirement and my investments. But now that the car is paid off, even though now I have a new debt, a new big, big debt, but I think that I really want to try to fully fund my Roth IRA. That'll be a really nice goal of mine to have. And you know what? When I set my mind to something, guys, I have no problem reaching the goal. Okay, so $1,200 is what I'm going to be setting aside for my investments. Okay, and then moving on to savings. My savings account, I'm going to set aside $400, my emergency fund, $300. So that would be $700 total towards savings. And it's always nice to save more than what I think I'm going to save. So that is always the goal, save more. And my emergency fund, I am working in that binder. I have one more cash stuffing, and then whatever I have in the binder, even if it's not finished, I am going to be counting all of that money and transferring it to my emergency fund. So I have a feeling this $300, I'm going to be saving a whole lot more. I would love to get to maybe $1,000 more dollars in my emergency fund. I would be so happy with that $300 and what I think I may have in my binder. I just might be able to do it, but we'll see. Okay, so $700 for savings. And then my sinking funds, my savings challenges, I'm setting aside $500. My sinking funds, I'm setting aside $850 to go towards my sinking funds. So the total is 1,350, which is a lot, but I use this money to stuff my challenges. So when I'm working on my binders, all of my different binders for savings or challenges or minis, this is the category that that money comes out of. I use it from my saved monies for my budget, and then I can do all of my fun cash stuffing. Now, next month, because my budget is changing, these numbers are going to go down somewhat because I'm not going to be able to save at the frequency or have the amount that I normally have. I'm going to have to make some adjustments, but it's okay because I'm still going to save because I am a saver and you're not going to stop me from saving. I'm going to figure out a way to keep saving. All right, so how is this budget looking? Okay, so right now, my total budgeted amount that I am planning to spend is $9,093.51, which is wonderful. So that means that even though I budgeted $10,000, let's go up there. Yeah, I budgeted $10,000 income, and that is actually less than what I normally budget because my payroll challenges, sinking funds, that category is way less than what I normally have. I am giving myself a really nice buffer for the month of December to help with any expenses that I was not aware of as we move into January, because I want a clean slate for January because I know my budget's changing, my expenses are going to change. There's going to be a lot going on. So thank you all for joining me. And if you're new, you don't want to miss it, okay? You want to follow me, and I can show you how I budget my money, how I save for different goals, and how I reach them. I love to reach goals. It is a wonderful, wonderful feeling to be accomplished and to do something by just putting your mind to it and getting to work doing it. All right, friends. So thank you all for joining me today. I hope your December goes well. The holiday goes well with your family, your friends. You just have an amazing month. And please, if you don't have a lot of money, don't go into debt this season. Do what you can to be creative, make gifts, make baked goods, but just don't spend a lot of money charging credit cards. Let's do better for 2026, okay? All right, until next time, guys, I will talk to you soon. Take care and have a wonderful holiday. Bye.